Well, hello. This is Bells and Gals Live, and today I am talking to the fabulously fierce and empowered and beautiful Emilia Quinn. Hello, love. How are you?
I'm
How you
very good,
doing?
thank you. How are you?
I'm really, really well. I'm really, really well. Happy New Year to you and Tam.
When do we start? When do we stop saying that?
We can say that for the rest of the year.
Okay, I'm down for that. I am down
Yeah,
for that.
I think we're going to need a new year every month.
Yeah, we're 8 days in, and I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Carnage, carnage. But we've got good things coming too, and that's what we're going to talk about today. That's the most
Yes.
important thing. But first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, Emilia. You have quite a
Yeah.
story. I know.
I've been busy. I've done a few things in my time. I'm Amelia. I'm a roots music artist based in the north of the UK near Leeds. Um, I've been playing music since I was 6, so quite a long time. And writing songs for about 12 years now. Um, country sort of roots music, blues music is always something I've ended up coming back round to anytime I've veered off trying anything else. So I've now settled in it and it's what I'm sticking with. But yeah, I do a few different things. I run Whiskey Kisses Promotions, which
You
is
do.
usually a gig promotions company
Mm.
based in Leeds, and we do like monthly writers rounds when we're allowed to. And yeah, just sort of I like to keep myself busy, as you're gonna find out.
That's no. I'll say, I'd be bold enough to say that you're probably the most hardworking female in UK country. I don't know anyone who works the way that you do. Not only tirelessly and massively dedicated, but also very unique and very smart in the way that you do things. You always like to find either a niche or a little, just something unique, something a little bit different. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, you're the idea girl, and we've got lots and lots.
I'll take
We've had
that.
lots, we've had lots from you, and you know your EPs. I mean, we need to talk about the music, obviously, and your history of music, but your EPs are self-managed, self promoted, self.
Yeah.
You are the musician. I know you have help, of course, but you are predominantly the one that conducts the entirety of your music and your ideas and where you want to go and who you want to be, and you've paved the way quite a bit.
I mean, AKA control freak.
That's all right.
Yeah, I
That's
just
okay.
I like I don't know. I quite like to do new things. I get bored easily if I just repeat the same thing over and over again. So that's kind of why I always go looking for things to do, and I apparently like to take on a lot of things to do.
You do, because you do like to manage, different things. Like you say, you do Whiskey Kisses. You have your own promotions company too. So you do like to be involved in the music. Obviously, the music must be your entire working week.
Oh well, it would be if it made enough money to live off. I do.
Oh,
I normally work one day job at the moment. I'm working two remotely, so from home, to sort of make ends meet because COVID. It is what it is. It happens, but it also being remote and working from home does mean that I can balance my time better and sort of be able to do everything ish.
yeah, so you are massively multitasking, and that's obviously something that I get it. I'm very similar to you, so I totally understand. But for people who don't know much about you, where did that come from? Where did obviously I always want to know where country came from for you, but where does this all come from? Why are you so passionate about doing it your way? Well, no, passionate about doing it your way. Because some people, go with the flow, but you're hard dedicated, so you have a game plan, and we all know you have a game plan. You don't go into everything. Yeah, you do, and I know. We'll talk about the
That's news to
previous
me.
single, the last single, but I know your double release. You did that last minute, and you said to me at the time that you usually would spend a year to promote a single. That's
Yeah.
a lot of planning. That's what I mean. You're not the person to just throw something out there. Where did all of this start from for you, Emilia?
I think I'm very lucky to have been able to build a good foundation as a musician, as a performer, as an artist as a whole, in the sense that I worked with really great tutors who were in bands, who helped put choirs together and do all sorts of these music projects. So they had some experience of how the industry works. And I've fallen on my feet quite well in the sense, you know, when it comes to learning and tutors and stuff like that, that I've been in contact with just people that know what they're doing and know how to make visions happen and have nurtured me and my sort of spark and my hunger for doing things and being different and thinking outside the box. And I've been very supported in that through my tutors, through my parents, through my family. And so that's where that sort of sense has come from, to have quite a big work ethic.
Your team has a big impact, you know, whatever team it is, from school, from family, from friends. You know, if you have a good team, it's
100%, 100%. And it's something I've sort of always had, no matter what, when it's been my parents and then off to uni, my tutors, and you know, my family now, and my friends now as well, who are relatively sort of similar to me, and we bounce off of each other. So you know, Emma Moore and Georgia Nevada and I, we've got kind of a little group chat going on where we're like, guys, I need your opinion on this. Is this okay? What do you think of this? I've got this new idea. Is it totally crazy?
Man, to be a fly on the wall of that group chat. That would be fun. So that's really amazing. So obviously you have the support and the friendship of people on the UK country scene. How did country come about for you, though? I know that you're a rocking alternative guy.
It's, I think what really draws me to country and roots and blues and those sort of genres is the storytelling, and that's always been the thing I listen to in music. So that's probably why I've gravitated towards these genres, because I really do believe that you have a platform as a songwriter to tell a story to the world, no matter what it is. Even if it's a feel good, you know, shooting whiskey, getting your hands in the air, having a dance, or if it's something really heartfelt, like about heartbreak and, you know, loss and stuff like that. I do think you're very privileged when you become a songwriter to tell a story and put that message out to the world. And going from listening to the lyrics the most to then discovering this sort of spark for songwriting, it just kind of made sense. And Hannah Montana.
I love how you slipped that one in. How come? That's your influence. Oh, that's really.
I was in that age group.
I would never have said that for you. But
yeah, I was wildly into Hannah Montana. Miley Cyrus was my first ever concert when I was like 10, 11 years old. Which, yeah,
I'm really, I don't know, because you're so alternative and so rocky and so.
Wow. These days.
No, I love that. That's basically the yin to your yang, and it also shows that you know, I love listening to Disney, but we all do. We all get musical influence from lots and lots of different genres, different movies, different family members that like different artists. The flavors and the influence come across the board, I'm sure. So, you know, yeah, I'm really, really surprised. But, you know, we all have our little secret closet of music that we do.
I'm not going to lie. I got Disney Plus and binge watched the series from the start.
I believe you, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But so when did it start? So when did you decide country is the genre that I now want to venture into, and where did the music come from?
Man, well, my first it just happens that my first ever song that I ever wrote was a country style song. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't, so I never sort of sat down and thought country music. Like when I was younger, genres I didn't really get it. I was sort of was just like, it's just music, because that's kind of how I was brought up. I was brought up in a family that listened to a lot of different types of music in French and English as well, because my mum's French, so I had that influence going as well. And she definitely had a thing for the storytelling as well, like people like Jean-Jacques Goldman and Francis Cabrel, and that they write very much all about the lyrics and play on words and stuff like that. So I think that's probably where that came from, or it definitely was heavily influenced by the French side of my listening when I was younger. But it was never a conscious decision in my first song to go, right, I'm going to write a country tune.
No.
It just happened to be that. And then years and years and years later, when I started writing more folky stuff. I then went in a blues rock band, went back to writing sort of more folky stuff, and then it gradually shifted into this thing called country, which had a bit more of an edge to it because I'm slightly on the fiery side at times.
Indeed.
And you know, folk's hard to sing with a nice gritty voice.
But you've managed to integrate the two quite nicely, actually. And, you know, I'd say when you're releasing a single, Emilia, we don't know what we're going to get from you. It could be.
That's my favorite thing. I like to keep people guessing, and I do like that everyone's been very, very accepting of whatever I've released, and no one sort of judged me on, oh well, this doesn't sound anything like your last record. It's
No.
been welcomed with open arms, and I highly appreciate that, because I don't want to do one thing for the rest of my music career. I don't want to just keep churning out the same EP over and over again. It's not what I'm about. Some people make it work, and they make it work because they put their shift on it, but it's still a change. And I think, like, you can't stop swimming.
That's a really good way to look at it, and I quite agree with you. You know, talking about EPs, you know, Firecracker is it's one of my favourites of the year. It was a fantastic EP, and you know, there were so many things that you did with that were clever. You know, you took on several artists to sing alongside the chorus, which I think, you know, not only gave them the you know, the unity there as well, but just showed that there was something a bit different about having everyone on your single, and I think that's really, it showed a great deal of solidarity, which certainly the UK country scene is you know, is in need of. And I think, you know, we're definitely getting there now. Building a really nice foundation, I think.
We're all in the same boat, you know, we're all trying to do the same thing, and I don't see other artists as competition. Like, they're not direct competition for me. Yeah, there's a limited amount of festival slots. Yes, there's a limited amount of gigs, but I mean, if I can't get a gig, I'll book a gig myself. Like, I've got that kind of attitude, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna diss someone because they got an opportunity that I didn't get yet, because then I can look at that and, right, well, how can I improve? How can I get to their position? If they're in a position that I'd like to be in, you put yourself in that position and you work for it. You don't, if you just sit bitching about people, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're going to feel quite unhappy on the inside.
That, Emilia, that's exactly the message I think is really, really important to put out there. This is not about being competitive. Yes, the music industry is fiercely competitive and always has been, but how about you put a different spin on it somehow and look at someone else as an inspiration, as a muse, and say, you know what, I'll look at you and I'll look at that as my goal. I will, you know, work hard.
Even Miranda Lambert does it. I listened to a podcast, and it really resonated with me, because she was saying, yeah, like, sometimes I'll look at Carrie Underwood and I'll be like, oh my God, how do I be like that? But I'll use my work ethic rather than just thinking, oh, well, she's horrible, she's got all this stuff that I don't have, and complain about it. And I was like, yes, exactly. And
envy has no place.
Band together, strength in numbers.
Totally agree, and that's exactly what you did. I mean, you know, and what you say about difference in your music, you know, we can't really compare Mila to Outlaw. You know, they're totally different tracks.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but showing such a huge variety and a huge, you know, just you've got a lot of different vibes going on, and I think that's become really, really evident as you're growing on the scene. So you continue to grow. You have new exciting things in the pipeline. Now, obviously, Mila did amazing. You know, I say Mila because it was the initial single, but obviously it's a double release, and not many people had, if I may say, you know, the guts to do that. That was, you know, a really, really interesting thing to do. How did that feel for you? Because I know that you did it very last minute.
I did. I took if you're watching it, you don't know, I took about 4 weeks from idea to release, which is a wildly short time. Like you mentioned, I usually take about a year to plan one single. That's like one song. So doing 2 in that short time, and they weren't recorded. They weren't recorded at all. They weren't done by any means. So it was a bit crazy, and it was a very stressful 4 weeks, and I won't be doing it again. But I'm very glad I did, because the whole reason was the messaging of the songs are very, very relevant to our current situation in the world, as well as just generally, they're a little bit more, they strike a little bit harder at the minute. And that was kind of the reason of doing that.
Well, they did both give the messages of love, very different singles. The World and Mia were very, very different singles, but they really did, demonstrate the same message, which was beautiful.
Yeah, different but going hand in hand, I think.
Certainly. God, you must be missing gigs. It's been tough, hasn't it? And I know what you're like. I mean, I've been blessed enough to see you live. I know that you love the stage. I know that you're at home on the stage. You really are, and you get the crowd going.
I've been threatening to build a stage in my living room just to be able to stand on one.
I don't blame you. If that or the garden, I think that's all we've got. Tell us what's coming up next. So you've got a huge project going on right now, and I say huge, and I really mean huge. Tell us about that.
I can finally talk about it. So the concept for this kind of came about in, I want to say, April of last year. And the whole idea was to create a song for International Women's Day called Girl Talk. And the title came first with this one, which is not overly usual for me. I don't usually come up with the title first. But I think I was just having a discussion, and I said something about Girl Talk. I was like, I'm going to write a song called Girl Talk. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And then sort of mulled it over for a while and then ended up writing it. And the original idea was to get a couple of other friends on it, have a laugh, record it, put it out for International Women's Day, and just sort of say, woohoo, here's three of us singing this song. It didn't pan out that way. So I think, we've ended up with a handful more than just 3 artists on this.
A handful is
handful. I think the last headcount has changed so many times, but I think the last headcount was 22 female performers.
Amazing. That's amazing. What is the message of the song?
The message of the song, I think it's a very sarcastic, very satire, jokey kind of song. It's upbeat. It's not necessarily directed at anyone in particular, although if the shoe fits, you may want to have a little word with yourself. It's supposed to be sassy, and it is built on various stories of experiences I have had, of experiences that friends have had in the music industry, outside of the music industry, and in general life. And some of these things are quite real. And I think there's definitely, we're going in the right direction as far as equality and feminism, and whatever else is in that realm is going. And I think we are headed on the right path, but it's still very much there. And there are some definite naysayers, and I'm waiting for the comments saying, yeah, but it's not true. Because I have literally been told a few times there is no gender imbalance in the music industry, and no, that didn't happen. You're just being dramatic. So I'm a little bit like, okay. So it's kind of along those lines of girls talk. We know about things that you might not know we know about, but it's also just taking the mick out of the female stereotype as well.
It is, and International Women's Day is the perfect day to release. Absolutely perfect. So you are announcing artists as the days go by. You've just started that, if I'm allowed to say. I can see there's been a Louise Parker, Katie Hurt, and Emma Moore so far, and you are releasing day by day.
I am every day until the end of January, pretty much. There'll be an artist announced, because, like I said, there's quite a few, and the whole band is female.
Fantastic. Well. That's fantastic. And what are your plans for the rest of the year? Obviously, that's coming out in March, and it seems such a long way away, but actually, it's really not. And I know how you are. I know exactly how you are, Emilia. So you must have plenty more in the pipeline. I refuse to believe that's it for you.
Oh yeah, no, you'd be right. There are a few bits coming up. I can't say a huge amount right now. As per usual, everything's in the plan for quite a while. But my efforts are definitely being focused on Girl Talk until it comes out, and until a bit after it comes out as well. Because there'll be a little follow up on that, which I'll be announcing at some point
Absolutely.
soon.
Out of interest, what's been your favourite gig?
My favourite gig in 2020?
No, just your
I have
favourite.
a whole 4 to choose from.
What's been the favourite gig that you've had? What stands out? You know, it's nice for us to reminisce over the things that we had and we will have again. But yeah, out of interest, what's been your favourite gig so far? Your most memorable?
That's a really good question. I think definitely one of the standout gigs has been Westview Live, where it was a house concert, first house concert I've ever done, and it was in Gary, who runs Westview Live. It was in his living room, and they literally moved all the furniture out of it, put out all these chairs. They do a buffet for all ticket holders. Their other sort of front room is a green room, and that's where I met Morgan Way and made good friends with them. But I think that's definitely one that stands out. I think it wasn't technically a gig, it was a party, but I did play, was at the Hells Angels Club in Manchester. Oh, wow. And I got them all singing Outlaw.
Oh, I bet you did. I hope that was filmed. You'll have to send that.
I was just like,
fantastic. So yeah, that's what I mean. You know, these memorable gigs that may not seem that obvious, but looking back, you go, wow, that was different.
There are definitely some highlights.
Absolutely. And in terms of the rest of the work that you do, your promotions company and Whiskey Kisses, what are your plans for that? Do you have any more things to come on that side?
Well, we're looking into what we can do to just help benefit the UK sort of roots grassroots scene a bit more, since we're not able to do gigs right now. And it has always sort of been a vision of mine to try and help out others. Like I said, I've got a platform to help other people. If I can shout about other people, I will. Yeah. And that's sort of the point of Girl Talk as well. Having so many people on it is this might send me upwards. I want to bring my friends with me. I want to bring, my colleagues, as it were, with me, and be able to shout about them too, because we're all trying to do the same thing. And if you can build each other up and you can cross over and collaborate and all that kind of stuff, then it makes for quite a nice environment to be in.
It really, really does. It really does. So 8th of March is what we need to look out for.
I'm so excited.
Absolutely. So exciting, and lots of announcements to come up until then. So do keep an eye on Emilia's social media, everybody, because there's loads to come. Yeah, I just think that there is something really, really different about you, Emilia. I think that there's going to be lots of exciting things to come. I really do. I really do. So lovely to talk to you today. So lovely. And I wish you all the best with the single. And I can't wait to see what comes up next. Speak soon, darling. Take care.